Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into quite a powerful piece of ancient writing, Psalm 58.
It really is something very intense.
Yeah, intense is the word. And you might wonder, how can an ancient psalm speak to us now? But honestly, it feels incredibly relevant. It's this raw look at, well, injustice.
Mm-hmm. Deep human feelings about fairness, corruption, things we still grapple with constantly.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack it, see what it tells us about integrity, about justice, and maybe, surprisingly, how it can actually strengthen our trust in God today.
Right. Connecting those ancient cries for justice to our own lives and faith.
So let's dive in. Maybe start with a quick overview. What's the core of Psalm 58?
Okay, so it's basically David, the psalmist, just laying into corrupt leaders, unjust judges.
Laying into them is putting it mildly, maybe.
Yeah, probably. He accuses them point blank of, deceit, violence, uses some really strong imagery.
Like the snakes?
Exactly. Says their words, their actions are like serpents' venom. It's a lament, a real cry of frustration when human justice just isn't working.
And the language, it grabs you immediately. Those opening lines.
Oh, yeah. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation?
Right. Like, are you really about justice? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men?
And then the answer's pretty clear. Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth.
Wow. So right away, he's saying it's not just mistakes, it's intentional evil. They're plotting it, dealing out violence.
Mm-hmm. It sets a really blistering tone. No beating around the bush.
And that snake imagery you mentioned, their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. That part's fascinating.
The deaf adder. Why deaf?
Well, it's not just that they can't hear truth or reason, it's that they stop their ears. They deliberately refuse to listen.
So it's willful ignorance. Choosing not to hear the charmers, the voices calling for justice.
Precisely. They make themselves immune to correction. It's a chosen state of being morally closed off. Really powerful picture of entrenched corruption.
That makes a lot of sense. They won't hear. So where does the psalm go from that kind of deep frustration?
It shifts from accusation to this really passionate plea for divine justice.
Because human justice failed.
Completely. So he cries out to God. You get lines like, break their teeth, O God, in their mouth.
Whoa.
Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. It sounds brutal, but it's poetry.
Symbolic, like disarm them, make them powerless.
Exactly. Render them harmless, like defanging a predator. It's this desperate hope that even when humans fail, God sees and God will act.
But it doesn't just end on that, violent plea, does it? There's a shift again near the end.
Right. It moves towards this real confidence. Confidence in God's ultimate judgment and vindication for the righteous.
Okay. How does it put that?
It ends with, the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance, meaning divine justice, not human revenge. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked.
Strong stuff.
Very. And then the conclusion, so that a man shall say, verily there is a reward for the righteous. Verily he is a God that judgeth in the earth.
A God that judgeth in the earth. So ultimate accountability, assurance that God will step in.
That justice will prevail in the end. It's about divine certainty, not human vengeance.
Okay, so we've got this intense ancient text. Corruption, snakes, broken teeth, divine judgment. How do we connect this powerful, maybe even disturbing stuff to our lives now?
Well, that's the core question, isn't it? And honestly, the themes are just timeless. The condemnation of injustice, the call for truth, the idea of ultimate accountability.
Still resonates.
Absolutely. That imagery, the snakes and teeth, it's a stark warning, about how destructive, dishonest leaders and, frankly, harmful words can be in any time, any place.
Yeah, it's not just about ancient kings. It applies to, everywhere. Workplaces, communities.
Right. So what does that look like practically for someone listening?
Well, first, maybe it's about speaking out against injustice. If you see something unfair at work or in your community, this psalm kind of pushes you to find your voice, doesn't it?
Yeah, to challenge it respectfully but firmly, not just let it slide.
And second, valuing honesty and integrity in our own lives, how we talk, how we make decisions, especially now with so much misinformation flying around.
Prioritizing truth builds trust. It's foundational.
Third, maybe seeking accountability. Supporting systems, leaders who actually hold people responsible when they do wrong. Justice needs that.
True. Healthy societies depend on it, whether it's big government stuff or just, local groups.
Fourth, and this feels huge today, being careful with our words, that serpent's venom idea. Words can poison things just as easily now, maybe even easier online.
Definitely. Aiming for kindness, for integrity in how we communicate, it matters.
And maybe finally, trusting in eventual justice.
Mm.
Even when things look bad, when systems fail, holding on to that hope.
That higher authority the psalmist pointed to, that ultimate fairness, will win out.
So how does wrestling with all this actually strengthen our trust in God, our relationship with Him?
Well, I think Psalm 58 shows us God isn't indifferent to injustice. He sees it. He cares deeply about truth and righteousness, that he's ultimately committed to setting things right.
So knowing God is aware that He's just, that builds trust.
Absolutely. The psalmist's trust in that divine justice, even in desperation, shows us God as an involved judge, not distant, but active in the earth. Relying on that character of God deepens our own trust.
And putting those principles into practice, speaking truth, seeking accountability.
This become acts of faith, really. When we value integrity, stand for fairness, use words carefully, we're aligning ourselves with God's own nature.
We're participating in His desire for justice.
Exactly. And that participation, that alignment, that strengthens the relationship. We're working with God, in a sense.
So knowing He is a God that judgeth in the earth, as the psalm says, that's a real anchor, especially when human systems let us down.
It reinforces that he cares about what happens here, about truth. That strengthens the bond.
Okay, so wrapping up. Psalm 58 is this incredibly raw, powerful call. It confronts injustice head on.
Yeah, shows the damage of corrupt leadership, but it also pushes us.
Pushes us to uphold truth, demand accountability, and, crucially, to trust in that higher justice.
Definitely. Understanding these things, living them out, it really can lead to a deeper trust in God, knowing his just character.
So the question we leave you with is this. What does this all mean for you? How will you apply this information in your life to strengthen your trust and relationship with God, knowing he is a God who judges in the earth?